Good evening, so welcome to another malt first impressions. I have cracked the seal on this because I did a picture and time-lapse thing, but I haven't actually tasted the content, so this is going to be a moment. And this bottle is thanks to your support actually, because our patron revenue is growing, and while we still give a thank you to the staff, Mark and I don't take any money out of that pot. We pay the hosting, we pay any technical costs, and then every couple of months we have to replenish our empty samples for the people who do those, and the postcards, and of course the 2 bottles we pick every year. So all this is continuously happening, but at the same point in time we're reaching a stage now where we have a little bit extra each month. So last month we did buy, have I got it here? Yes. Balvenie 12 single barrel, mainly because we didn't have any Balvenie on the site for a while. And then Henry goes and reviews a Balvenie, a ton, which was excellent. And so we did this, and then I get given a bottle of that. So we're going Balvenie mad. So this one is coming, but we're probably holding it back. What I have done is I'm giving as much as we want to do with these patron sort of bottles amongst the team, we want to share things around. So I have given Mark a sample of this, and Norcha will have a sample as well. And when I say sample, you're talking about 10 to 20 CLs, and they can sit down and give us their opinion, and then hopefully when we come to publish the review, you're going to have at least 2 to 3 on average opinions of the whiskey. It's good for me because I've got lots of whiskey, probably like yourselves, and the thing I enjoy most is sharing it. So that was the first one we did that with, but that one's been held up a little. I'm actually sending Mark's and sample of that tomorrow, along with what we're about to taste. And Norcha I'm meeting next week, which is always a delight, so I'll give her some of that. But we are here for a bit of Isla. Now, we were talking about the patron fund, and like, Mark, we'll be sitting out, what will we do, blah, 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 blah. It's like, which distilleries are we needing to cover? Because, we can't cover everything. Not everybody wants to deal with us. We don't go approaching everybody. We don't go approaching anybody, to be fair. But, what would be of interest to the readership, the supporters? And we've definitely one on the radar is Balblair. There's a lot of talk about Balblair, and they seem to be controlling the bottles and the general message amongst the people who tend to do reviews. So that's definitely on, I wouldn't say on our sites, but it's definitely on the horizon. So it's on the shelf, maybe up here. What else? Well, Kilchoman is somebody that we haven't done in a while, and I think that probably, to me, it reflects a little of, I remember early Kilchoman, like yourselves, and it wasn't very nice, This was a distillery that was obviously having to sell casks. It seemed to bottle for everybody in the world who wanted a single cask or some special release. And the quality of it was, shall we say, variable, seemed to be a polite way to put it. And to me that damages the brand, because even though they are more We Are Isla than Bruichladdich, and they're doing all the things pretty much in-house, and that's to be applauded, I think, they probably did ship before it was due. Now, not everybody can be in a Ballandalloch or a Daft Mill perspective and have the wallets and the funds to withhold casks until they deem it's ready. It's the way whiskey is now. It has to be bottled pretty much 3-4 years, and they need to get the revenue streams in, especially, I think, even more so now, because I think gin is starting to deflate, which has been a lifesaver for some of these new distilleries. So for Kilchoman, I think the brand was a little bit tarnished, and they're slowly coming back. In the last 2 to 3 years, I've probably maybe had a handful of ones which actually restoked the interest or appreciation, but not engulfed it, not created these manly desires or something for the bottle. So they revealed and released recently the Loch Gorm 2019. So this is what we have picked up this month, and it is a limited edition, of course. Let's have a look inside. One thing I do like about Kilchoman, I do like the bottles. Good, solid, chunky bottle. So this is an edition of 15,000. I think from memory it was about £70 from Master of Malt. It's bottled at 46%. And on the back it tells us the tasting notes, which I'm not going to look at. I think probably on the back of here we should be looking. And it is purely non-chill filtered, without colouring of course, and it utilises I'm sure I read maybe 20 sherry butts from different vintages, and they've put them together to give this release. So let's give it a go and we'll take it from there. One thing I do like as well, Kilchoman for a while was far too expensive for what it was, and then now it's older and better. I think the prices probably haven't increased greatly, which was the fear sometimes. So, you know, I do like the bottle, I like the presentation, I like the style. It's got a real firm, tactile, grasping, presence, and it's got a good cork, which to me is always a winner when you have a good cork. There you go. So, not branded like the Sagamore we had the other day. They've just gone for the cork, which is perfectly reasonable. So let's have a dram, and this one I'll be then sending off to Mark and giving some to Nurture as well. So, and some of you might get it in the next patron packs as well if you're fortunate enough to do the packs. I wish we could send them abroad. I wish we had an outlet to do that for you, because that would be fantastic. So, nice natural colour, yes, very sherry, but not heavily, we're all guilty of being misled by colour. So there's a peat, a smoky sort of burning peat. If you've ever been to one of the kilns in Scotland, you'll certainly know what I mean. But it's not over forceful. It's definitely there, but it's amongst the rest of the characteristics. Sort of a sweetness, a toffee sort of sweetness coming through, sugary amongst that peat. But no sulphur, which is good. Maybe they could have slipped one bad cask in there and the rest would have hopefully smoothed it over. But I am not too bad, not hugely great, detailed nose, but I appreciate it's a neck pour. It's early days, but so far it's pleasant enough. It's definitely a floral, heavy characteristic in there as well. The sherry is there, but it's balanced. Some of these sherry casks now, you might as well just be drinking sherry. And certainly sherry industry could do with your support. So go drink sherry and leave the whiskies to those that really, really like a little bit of sherry influence, but not dominant. Okay, and some nuttiness coming through now. So we'll have a taste. Okay, my immediate reactions are it suffers at 46. It has I think it's been cut a little bit too close to the bone. It's definite. You get a little bit of punch, you're getting the peat coming through a wee bit more now, but there's real watery sort of sense here. Almost, yeah, you've put out a peat bog fire, shall we say, and you've thrown the water on it, and the flames are died out, but you've still got that lingering smoke presence and just the sense of death and destruction, vegetation, I should say. It's pleasant sipper on that basis. Sort of honey toffee, a little bit of bacon fat. I'll try it with some water, but I mean, don't get me wrong, it's perfectly adequate, perfectly reasonable. But what I'm thinking is, to be totally honest, and I could be way out here, I can go to a supermarket and I can pick up a bottle of Islay malt. We don't know the distillery, but say £20, £25, And to be honest with you, I don't think it's too far off of that, for which is 3 times the price. That's my gut instinct. Now, some people say to me, you don't like sherry, which is wrong. I do like good sherry. I just don't like modern sherry casks. People say you don't like peat, which is wrong. Barora, I love. I love good peat. Glengarry, love peat. But again, our differences are today's peat and sherry casks, and maybe those from a few years ago. It's very different, which makes me a little bit more harsher, shall we say, on these things. Actually, I need a wee bit more than that, don't I? Let's try. I mean, this as well, this could develop, this could change, but it's just really first impressions, give you something to think about. Should I buy it, perhaps? Is this of interest to me? So anyway, we'll add a bit of water. Just a little, because I do think it's been cut quite close to the bone. Sorry, itch. Thinking gasoline, very odd, or petrol, as they know, but not, from the, that's more that residue. Maybe a couple of days later. It's definitely a creaminess coming through now on the back of that honey. And definitely tobacco as well. Touch of salt, but just trying to pick out the spice that's in this. It's like tarragon, or whatever it's called elsewhere, but it's a bit of tarragon, that sort of iron metallic greenness there. Anyway, we'll try a taste. Again, it's become very smooth, and that's only a few drops. Honeyed, caramel, earthy, touch of smoke. It's fine, it's fine. What I would criticise it for is probably the experience you're getting for the price. Would I want to pay £70 for something that I could probably replicate for a lot less? That's the question. But you are paying, obviously, for the branding, the excellent bottle. You're paying for the floor, the floor malted nature, the handcraft ethic, and you're supporting the economy on Islay. Because at least Kilchoman keeps the money in there because they're family owned, whereas Diageo, all these other places, the money goes off to Amsterdam or wherever the corporate headquarters are and where all the shareholders are. So I think it's vital to remember that, but at the same time there's a premium, and there's too much of a premium. Cinnamon bark, a little bit of aniseed, but it's nicely balanced. But I do think the balance is because there's not too much there. So to me, based on that, 5 or 6, no more. Certainly not for me. But it'll be interesting to see what the others think. And this is the beauty of trying to give you 2 free reviews, even though they're a pain to organise and to pull everybody together and say the piece is going live next Tuesday. Come on, get the stuff in, which happens far too much. But no. Yeah, 5 or 6. I think more exploration is needed, but on the basis of where I am now, I say I'm in the 5 camp, but give it time. It's pleasant enough, but pleasant enough doesn't equal, a good, fantastic score. So again, thanks for your support. We will try and pick up the bottles maybe once a month. We can try and do this and give you some of the newer releases, because it's always on my mind that we need a good mix, so not just bourbon, not just Scotch, not just European, not just old historical bottles or maybe those from a couple of years ago or single cast, so what we get sent press wise. It's also important we get out there and we pick up some of these new releases and we really showcase them for what they are. So thank you very much, and we'll see you for another video soon.